Sit with me for a few moments while I contemplate life. Very good. That's enough. Stop it. Stop it. You like my new shirt? I can't decide if it's awesome or white trash. But either way, I'm going to keep wearing it because I like it. And that's all that should really matter. See, when you get to be an adult, children, you can wear whatever you want and it doesn't matter anymore. To a certain degree, I guess. I remember that rat race in school and kids having the best clothes and shoes and sneakers, and just so stupid. It's sad that we all strive at those ages, those young ages. I remember when the very first pair of Sky Jordans came out, before Air Jordans. I had the Sky Jordans. They were the red, white, and black ones versus the red and black Air Jordans. I like the Sky Jordans better to this day. But I remember that was the first article of clothing that I had to have. Like, I liked having a few certain outfits in the 80s, especially when Michael Jackson was big. It's pretty embarrassing. I had a lot of Michael Jackson shirts. I have pictures of me. If I can find them, I'll put them out there because I don't really care. But it's such an early age, like in Hypercolor when that came out. Do you remember that? That was the shirts that would change color with temperature. Jesus. But I remember, like, it was really important to always have the best looking clothes, or you had the Kmart kickers on, like if your shoes were Kmart kickers. Now, I don't give a fuck. I really don't. I buy cheap. Actually, I haven't bought it. This is the newest shirt. This is the newest new shirt I've bought in a very long time. It's very rare, but all my t-shirts are a disaster. The armpits are faded and gross. When it gets to a point where it's nice to have those old, reliable articles of clothing like that. Like, there's still a few of those shirts I just love the way they fit and the way they feel. So I'll probably keep wearing them, just maybe not out of the house as much. You know, mowing the lawn, or other things. I don't know. But I just do remember at such an early age, like, how important it was to be fashionable. And now I look back on that, and I feel terrible for children in school nowadays. What is that seeing? That's seeing something. Who is it? My hand is blocking it. Is it just a reflection? What is that? Oh. Checkbook. Alright. Isn't it? It really is. Like, I mean, there was a time until after high school, like, I really had to have the best stuff. But then after that, I really got into shopping at the Goodwills and Salvation Armies. And most of my wardrobes for several years came from there. Till I discovered at Target when they put it in Taunton, their clearance is insane, so I was able to get a lot more, newer stuff. Then I discovered these other, like, not secondhand stores, but default type stores. Down here we have a place called Rugged Warehouse, and they have lots of pretty good clothes, like jeans, shorts, t-shirts. If you're lucky, though, it comes in, like, whatever happens to not have come out right. They get it and sell it. I've got shoes there and stuff though. But I mean, jeans for like $5.99, $7.99. That's awesome. Like new, unworn jeans. I'd rather pay $5.99 for new, unworn, defective jeans than I would. I remember I got button flies once. Yeah, I know. And like the third buttonhole up hadn't been punched properly, so it wouldn't. So you just put a knife through it. Good to go. And then other times they're really bad. Whoa, my phone's dying. Oh, this is a horrible night. I went to go put the boys down, and the air conditioner in my window, we have central air, which is really nice in this house. But it costs a lot of money to run it. So I usually keep it at still a pretty cool temperature. And I run a window unit in our bedroom. I used to run one in the office, but this new computer, it's got water cooling. Well, I put water cooling in it. And it's like, even the fans are cranked right now. Oh no, they're not. But you can barely hear them. And if I threw some canned air in there, you wouldn't hear them at all. It's impressive, very impressive unit. I built a pretty meaty computer. I'm very happy with my skills there. I mean, it's funny to think that there was a time in my life when I didn't even know what a computer was. And then I discovered what computers were, and they just freaked me out. The Apple IIe. Like, it wasn't very impressive to me. Like, television looked good. Until computers got to the point, probably around Windows 3.1, that I became interested. And I still wasn't super interested because I thought, you know, the only thing I admired about them was their video games always have and always will, probably, stay top of the line. Like, if you have a really good video card, there's some new crazy card they just put out that won't be worth anything in like 5 years. Literally won't be worth anything. Maybe a collector's item. For $3,000. I'm like, are you high on crack cocaine, my friend? Like, that's usually the most expensive piece in my case. Like, the case, well, I'm not going to go down prices on everything, but I've got the CM Stormtrooper, Cooler Master Stormtrooper. And it's awesome, and it's really easy to build a computer inside it. The easiest computer I've ever built is in this case. And it's quiet, like I said. It's got a handle on top, which is pretty sweet. A little secret compartment down the bottom. And just I mean, like, it's got a not IDE, not SATA. That's not what I'm talking about. Solid state drive. Well, it's that size. The 2.5 drive. It's got a little slot so you can just boom, take one out, boom, plug it in. That's how I back up my photos, which I haven't done in a while. I just get cheap whenever I find them, or I pull them out of old laptops. Yeah, it's the SATA. I'll get like a SATA 3 drive, and just plug it in. Good to go. It's pretty neat. And I got a thermal take one on my desktop too, so I can do larger format. I need to get one for IDE because I found a ton of old hard drives, which I don't even know if they're still in working order. They've been sitting in an attic for, well, unused for maybe, on my first computer I got in 94. Probably didn't get another one until like 97 back then. So at least, 97, that's 2007, 2000. So almost 20, 17 years. Who knows what the hell's on that drive? Who knows? Speaking of hard drives, I promised you a part 2 to the Edward Snowden thing. I gave you my opinion, what little I knew about him last night. Like, I knew the idea of the story, and I knew what went diggity down. However, I did not know a lot about him. And a lot I did think I knew about him is very wrong. So, my opinion last night was I would have considered him a patriot for doing what he did. Releasing information that we didn't have access to, and kind of informing us of things that we needed to know. It's like he said, and let's start this right from the top. Okay, after the interview was conducted, Twitter put a poll out there that said, was he a patriot or a traitor? And 59% of America that tweeted felt like he was a patriot, while only 40%, or 41? No, 40% felt he was a traitor. I don't know. So, I actually watched it about 3 times now. 3 times. Not the whole thing. The first time I watched it all the way through. Second time I watched it all the way through. Third time I've been picking apart bits and pieces. And so, actually, closer to the end of the video, he says something along the lines, I'm not quoting him exactly, doing what's right isn't always legal. Now, who gets to decide that, though? You know, like, what's right? We talk about this country a lot on here and how it's divided. And half of the people, what they think is right, the other half think is wrong. You know what I mean? We've gotten to these polarized opposites. And that's my only problem with that statement. I like it. I like that quote, you know, doing what's right isn't always what's legal. And that's true. I think it's very true. But all from a certain point of view. From a certain point of view. From time to time. If you can name those 2 quotes, I'll be... Well, I won't be super impressed because they're not very hard quotes to figure out. But okay, so ultimately, this is my view, and I'm going to go over a few points as we go along the road to 40 together, you and I. You and I must make a pact. We must bring salvation back where there is love. I'll be there, buddy. Okay. Either A, he is one of the best liars I've ever seen in my entire life, or B, he's a straight up guy. Like, your everyday Joe. Kind of nerdy, kind of awkward with talking. I mean, he's fluent, very fluent when he talks, but he still has very tight. You can see him very rarely adjust or blink, or, you know what I mean? It's just like, I didn't feel a natural companionship with him. Like, with some people, like, you see them, like, I see people like Samuel L. Jackson, and I'm like, I could hang with that dude. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know him personally, so I lean probably the same way the country leaned. About 59% of me, maybe a little bit more, maybe like 68% thinks he was honest, told the truth, did what he did for the betterment of mankind in general, not in specific. And from what I can tell, I don't think he disclosed anything that did any harm. And that was one of the first points, is who has been hurt by this? Now, you could say that our relationships with other countries have been hurt, but whose fault is that? That's not Edward Snowden's fault. We shouldn't have been doing it in the first place. And if that's okay to do, then do it out in the open. At least make it known. Okay? So Australia and American ties are strained. I don't think we're buying a lot of exports from Australia. However, I do feel bad for them that we're mining data from them. And I just don't think that's fair or right. And so my first, that first thing that he said, like, I thought, he's right. Like, who really got hurt by it? If it's us, then it's our own fault. I mean, not as individuals, but as a what's the word I'm looking for? Not politics. Politically, it was a big no-no, I think. And it hurt our politicians and our. Wow, my brain's really not working. This is a really simple word, a generic word for politics and government. Our government. Wow, man. It's been one of those days. I'm not gonna lie to you, top to bottom. I'm not gonna get into it, but so yes, I do think he did the right thing. I do think he had the motives in the right place. I don't think he was a bad guy. Now, he says he doesn't have any more information or access to information, and he has no affiliation with Russia. I think one of his lawyers is Russian. I will say this. Before he, I think, not just started down this path. I don't know. I don't know. So I heard something today that he did have some ties, not to Putin, not to, but his best friend lived in Russia or something. You know what I mean? Not exactly that, but I know one of his lawyers is Russian and used to work for the former, what did the KGB become? Whatever that became, I heard he worked for that. Now, I don't know if these are just rumors started by our own government feeding this stuff out there, or if it's true. But genuinely, I felt like he was a real guy. Like, I felt, maybe I can't hang with this guy, but I don't think he was lying. I don't. Maybe I'm just a bad judge of that. I don't know. I feel he's honest, if nothing else. I wrote that down. I don't know why, but I think that sums all that up. The thing I didn't like about him, like I've already talked about, was he's very level, very emotional. Almost makes it feel like he's predetermining everything he was going to say, or going to his vast library of quotes. Like, I didn't feel like he was human. I didn't make enough contact with him. I felt no emotional ties to him. Like, I wanted to, when I knew about him, I wanted to like him. I wanted him to be a hero. You know what I mean? Not a martyr, but somebody who started to change a movement or something. And I think he's there, but he's not that centerpiece, that headpiece. I don't think. When I look at him, he's so just deadpan, and like he does things for his country. He's still a very patriotic person, whether you consider him a patriot or not. He still feels like he's doing right by his country. He had horrible attempts at humor. There was 2 times. The first time was kind of funny. The second time was he was talking about The Wire, and he said the second season wasn't very good, and he started laughing. And I was like, ooh, you're kind of nerdy. Like he wanted to talk about nerdy things. Whatever. I guess we do that too. But I don't know. I just feel like he's so just matter of fact about things. Very political. Obviously, he's got to watch his step too, just in case he ever does come back and chooses to be tried. Which, if anybody thinks he's going to get a fair trial coming back right now, or any time within the near future, you're out of your mind. But his humor was just, I felt it was forced. Like they almost said, when you go on the television. I don't know why I'm doing a Middle Eastern accent. When you go on TV, try to crack a joke here or there, humanize yourself. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure he's got people around him, his camp now, taking care of the situation, whatever. He didn't mention this when he was talking about. I guess. Well, I kind of used this word. I used the word algorithm. He never said the word algorithm, but he said that like just based on like where you make your calls. Like if you, like for me, I am a very habitual person when it comes to, I get up in the morning, I have to A, get the kids drinks, B, get their breakfast ready, C, take Chewy outside to go pee and poop, D, let Poe out, and then E, give her medicine. Like every morning, well, first what I have to do, and this is going to prove how kind of crazy wacky I am, I have to clean. Like, I need clean counters and surfaces where I know I'm going to be over the course of the next 3 hours. And so those get cleaned. And if I see anything in my path of vision between getting up in the morning and starting the day, like, I have to organize it. Like, the living room, I can't start cooking for the kids until I know the living room is not bad shape. I don't know what it is. I just have some, I guess they're OCD. I don't like to say that because I don't know if I have it or am, and I don't want to, downplay it for people who really are or do have OCD. But he said that, like, people who break their patterns, like, there's algorithms, I'm assuming, programs, I think is the word he said, that basically say, okay, he used checking the Rangers game, the hockey score. That hockey scores last night. He said, okay, it tells somebody who's looking at that a few bits of information. Obviously, you like this team. You're probably American. You probably speak English. You live here. Where did you check that? The score. Were you where you normally would check the score? Were you at home? Were you out of the house? You know what I mean? So when somebody breaks out of the rhythm of their algorithm, it probably like gives them a level of 1 to 100. I'm just assuming this is how the program works. And the more things that you do outside of your pattern flag you higher and higher as somebody. So they're not technically they are watching everyone, but they're more targeting people who are falling outside of the parameters of this algorithm. And that makes sense to me. I have no problem with that. Like, honestly, I'd prefer not to be. Like, there's not much that I would not want people to know that I do online, but, like, I'm just not going to say anything. We'll leave it at that. Okay, so he did, he said, and there was a paper trail, or at least one email they found, that he complained that there was concerns that that we were stepping out of our bounds legally, going outside of, what was constitutionally okay, basically. JB. Sorry. Slight intermission. Let's contemplate life again. That's my life contemplation face. So there was proof that at some point he did try to contact somebody to talk to them, that, you know, I think we're kind of breaking the law here, basically. So, and he said he talked to many other people. And he finally said he got to this point where he was politically told to stop poking around, stop asking questions, without actually saying that, because obviously if somebody said that, that's a threat, and you could probably do something about that. But so I mean, he did try to go down the right path, I think. I feel like he was someone like me who sometimes feels so frustrated and there's nothing they can do, but he was in a position where he could do that. He could do something, and he did. And whether you agree with him or not, you have to at least give him credit for that. Like, he had the willpower. I don't think he ever got a dime for anything he's done so far, so he's just living how he was living before. I mean, he's given up his family and his friends. He had to leave the country. Like, he's stuck in Russia right now. He sets foot off of the... No, he can't. That's an embassy. I'm thinking of something else. Just for now. Tell her I said hi. I guarantee you, within a few moments of me saying hi, she's going to say something derogatory, like, "Oh, you said hi to her, huh?" That's my wife. Now I'm going to call her a fucker. F-U-C-K-E-R. Actually, I'm going to say fuck her off. Because it's funny to say that. So, yeah, like I said, I didn't swing one way or the other more than I already had. This is what I was saying. Oh, really? I see. Oh, I'll tell her. Real nice. Let's call her. Let's give her a quick call. Let's give her a buzz. You want to give her a buzz? I really don't have much more to say. I'd say I'm like 65% sure he's genuine, and like, oh, I can't call her because she's on the phone with Jasper now. And you know, I want to believe that there's people out there who are willing to, you know, sacrifice and take chances to make things better for a history of people, not just a tenure of people, or a decade of people, or you know, I don't know, a millennia of people. Like, things take a while to change, I think. Like slavery, it wasn't like one day everybody was slaves, the next day they were free. Well, I mean, I guess technically there was, but there was a fight for that. I'm not going to get into the Civil War because I don't know enough about the Civil War. I will tell you right now, I feel like the North was right, but down here, holy shit. Like, there was no Civil War. There was the War of Northern Aggression. That's what they call it down here. It's crazy. And I love fucking with people with that. They're like, oh, you know, you guys, you didn't really win. and I'm sure people from the South right now going, you motherfucker. I was at a party once where, now, I have never been faced with this much racism in my entire life. I will not say any names because the individual, like, other than that, he seems like a really nice guy. But he said, well, if we had won this damn war, we wouldn't have to clean up after ourselves after this party. I was like, holy shit, did he just say that? Like, I'm sorry. So, yeah. Racism running rampant in America. Will we ever not hate someone? Like, will there ever be a time? I mean, this is what John Lennon was talking about, let's face it, you know? Um, you know, I'd love to live in a world like he imagined. Um, can we ever get there? And the problem is, does everyone want to be there? I don't think so. That's sad. I mean, maybe it's not. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I should be money hungry and greedy and savage and rude and, oh, for Pete's sake. Alright, listen, if you guys are loving these, please subscribe. Pass them along to people who you think might be interested in watching these. This nearly 40-year-old man ramble on night after night about God knows what. Please post them on your Facebooks or your tweets, your Twitters, your YouTubes, your MySpaces. And as always, don't forget to make somebody smile tomorrow, please. Think about it. Think about it. What can you do? And I know every day you can't make somebody smile. It'd be nice if you could, but some days you don't want to smile. So, let's just try to make the world spin a little happier together. Fair enough? Can we agree? Agree to disagree? To agree? I don't know. You guys have a great night. And here's to a few more awesome tomorrows. Did I tell you a black cat ran out in front of my car tonight on my way home? Yeah, it did.